Welcome to Talk Blaze. Today, we uncover one of the deadliest conflicts in human history, World War I, a war that reshaped nations, shattered empires, and changed warfare forever. But how did it all begin? What could possibly push the world into 4 years of unimaginable horror? Let's find out. The year is 1914. Europe is a ticking time bomb. Decades of political tension, military buildup, and bitter rivalries have created a continent on the edge of war. The world stands divided. On one side, the Allies, France, Britain, Russia, and their smaller allies. On the other, the Central Powers, Germany, Austria, Hungary, the Ottoman Empire. Each side is armed, ready, and waiting for a reason to fight. And then it happens. June 28, 1914, Sarajevo, Bosnia. The streets are packed with people. Excitement fills the air. Why? Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is visiting the city. But not everyone is happy to see him. Serbian nationalists believe Bosnia should be part of Serbia, not Austria-Hungary. A secret group called the Black Hand plans an assassination. As the Archduke's car moves through the streets, boom! A bomb explodes, but it misses him. The convoy speeds away. The mission failed, or so it seems. Hours later, in a twist of fate, the Archduke's driver takes a wrong turn. He stops to turn around, and standing right there on the sidewalk is 19-year-old Gavrilo Princip, one of the assassins. He pulls out a pistol. Bang! Bang! Franz Ferdinand is dead. His wife, too. The world will never be the same. The assassination sends shock waves through Europe. Austria-Hungary blames Serbia. They want revenge. But Serbia has Russia's support, and Austria-Hungary has Germany. Diplomacy fails, and on July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia. The first domino falls. Within days, the alliances kick in. Russia mobilizes its army. Germany declares war on Russia. France and Britain declare war on Germany. The world is at war. In August 1914, millions of soldiers march to battle. But they have no idea what awaits them. They think it'll be quick, over by Christmas. Instead, it becomes a nightmare that lasts 4 years. The first major battle, the Battle of the Frontiers. French and German forces clash in a brutal fight. Hundreds of thousands die in weeks. And then something unexpected happens. Germany changes its plan. They launch the Schlieffen Plan, a bold strategy to sweep through Belgium, crush France, then turn to fight Russia. But they underestimate one thing: Belgium fights back. Their resistance slows the German advance. Britain, furious that Germany invaded Belgium, joins the war. And suddenly, the Western Front descends into chaos. By September 1914, German troops are just miles from Paris. It looks like France is about to fall. But in a last desperate move, the French fight back in the Battle of the Marne. Soldiers are rushed to the front, even in taxicabs. And somehow, the Germans are stopped. The war is far from over. Instead of a quick victory, both sides dig in, literally. The trenches are born, and with them, a new kind of warfare. This is just the beginning. By late 1914, the German advance has been stopped, but instead of retreating, both sides do something new. They dig in. Soldiers carve thousands of miles of trenches into the earth. Walls of mud and barbed wire stretch as far as the eye can see. Between them, no man's land, a death zone filled with craters, corpses, and constant gunfire. The rules of war have changed. For the soldiers, life in the trenches is hell. Rain turns the ground into endless mud. Rats the size of cats swarm over the dead. Disease spreads faster than bullets. And then comes the attack. At dawn, a whistle blows. Men climb over the top, into enemy fire. Machine guns rip through their ranks. The lucky ones fall into craters. The unlucky ones, they don't make it. A battle that should last hours stretches into months. The Battle of Verdun. 10 months of bloodshed. Over 700,000 casualties. The Battle of the Somme. 1 million men fall. On the first day alone, Britain loses 60,000 soldiers. And for what? A few miles of land. The war has become a meat grinder. The killing only gets worse. New weapons turn the battlefield into a nightmare. Poison gas. It drifts silently across no man's land, burning eyes, melting lungs, leaving men gasping for air. Tanks, rolling metal beasts that crush barbed wire and terrorize trenches. Airplanes, no longer just for spying, now they rain bombs from the sky. This isn't the war the world expected. This is slaughter. By 1917, after 3 years of fighting, the soldiers are exhausted. But the war, it's far from over, because soon a new player will enter the battlefield, and it will change everything. By 1917, Europe is on the brink of collapse. Britain is struggling. France is barely holding on. Russia, out of the fight. After a revolution, Russia quits the war, signing a peace treaty with Germany. Now, the Central Powers can focus all their strength on the Western Front. It looks like they might win. But then, the United States steps in. For years, America stayed out of the war. But when German submarines start sinking American ships, and a secret message invites Mexico to attack the U.S., President Woodrow Wilson has had enough. On April 6, 1917, the U.S. declares war on Germany. Fresh soldiers, new weapons, hope. Germany knows they have one last chance. In 1918, they launched the Spring Offensive, a desperate push to break through Allied lines before American troops arrive in full force. At first, it works. The Germans advance 40 miles, their biggest gain in years. But then, they run out of steam, and the Allies strike back. The 100 Days Offensive begins. American, British, and French forces push the Germans into full retreat. City by city, trench by trench, the end is near. By November 1918, Germany is falling apart. Their allies, Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman Empire, surrender. Back home, riots break out. The German Kaiser flees the country. And finally, on November 11th, 1918, at 11 a.m., the guns fall silent. The war is over. 16 million dead. Cities in ruins. A world forever changed. In 1919, world leaders gathered to sign the Treaty of Versailles. The war's blame is placed on Germany. They are forced to pay billions in reparations, shrink their army, and give up land. But instead of bringing peace, this treaty plants the seeds for something even darker. A new anger rises. A nation feels humiliated. And within 20 years, the world will be at war again. This was World War I, a war that was supposed to end all wars, but instead became the beginning of something even worse. Because history never sleeps, just like the echoes of the past. See you next time on Talk Blaze.